Day 6 of the Diddy trial began like any other, with reporters rushing and murmurs spreading about what bombshell might drop next. But nothing could have prepared anyone for what happened when Monique took the stand. What was once considered a decades-long Hollywood feud suddenly became a federal testimony. The connections she made between Diddy, Tyler, Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and Bishop the courtroom frozen. She did not just bring words, she brought timelines, receipts, audio, and the kind of truth that made people sit up and listen. For the first time ever, Monique was allowed to say under oath what she had been warning us about for years. What she said changed everything we thought we knew about this trial. The gallery was already packed before the doors even opened on day 6. Journalists lined the hallway, eager for a glimpse of whatever headline might emerge. What they did not expect was Monique, the Oscar-winning actress, comedian, and outspoken critic of Hollywood, striding in quietly but confidently through the side entrance. Diddy's legal team exchanged glances. Prosecutors shuffled papers with fresh urgency. The air thickened. Nobody had her name on any expected witness list, but the moment she took the stand, the energy in the room changed. Diddy, dressed in a charcoal suit, visibly tensed. He leaned in toward his lawyer, whispering with a hint of confusion. Cameras were not allowed in the room, but sketch artists captured the moment as trademark stoicism faltered. A slight twitch in his eye. The tightening of his jaw. Monique sat upright, her voice firm from the first word. I was asked here to speak the truth, and that is what I intend to do. For years, she had warned the world about what happened behind the velvet curtains of Hollywood. She told stories about being blackballed by Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and Lee Daniels. People laughed it off. They said she was bitter, that she was overreacting. But now, seated under oath in a federal courtroom, those same warnings were being taken very seriously. The judge gave her permission to read from a timeline she had prepared. It chronicled her personal dealings with the individuals now circling this trial like vultures, the Bay. Exact dates of meetings, phone calls, broken promises, and offers made in back rooms under the guise of opportunity. Prosecutors nodded along, some already referencing notes from Cassie Ventura's earlier testimony. And just like that, the trial was not just about Diddy anymore. Monique's second statement was not aimed at Diddy directly. It was aimed at Tyler Perry, and it landed like a missile. She described a private phone call with Perry in 2018, during which he admitted that her blackballing from Hollywood had been unjust. He told me he was wrong. Monique testified. He said he would apologize publicly. He never did. Instead, she said Perry told her that if he publicly apologized, it would blow back on people who were not ready to be exposed. When asked who he was referring to, Monique looked directly at the jury and said, "Puff, that is who he was worried about. Puff Daddy Diddy, whatever you want to call him." Courtroom observers gasped. Even the prosecution team exchanged looks. This was not just drama, it was potential evidence of industry-wide collusion. Monique went further, stating that Perry told her he could not risk it because there were too many people tied to too many NDAs. She then presented a written transcript of a recording, a call where Perry told her, "There are things going on that I cannot be connected to publicly. We have all seen things at Puff's parties that we are not supposed to talk about." The judge allowed the transcript to be entered into evidence but barred the audio for now pending authentication. What made this moment so powerful was not just the allegation. It was the chilling realization that multiple Hollywood elites may have known what was happening at Diddy's events and remained silent to protect their own brands. Diddy's defense team immediately objected, claiming Monique's testimony was speculative. But the prosecution argued successfully that it provided necessary context about how silence and reputation management protected Diddy for years and possibly facilitated abuse. Then came the moment that truly turned heads. Monique took a breath, adjusted her microphone, and said the words that would headline news stories by the hour's end. "I have been to one of Diddy's parties and I left because I saw something I was not supposed to." She testified that in 2006 she was invited to a private gathering in Los Angeles. The invitation came via a friend, a fellow actor, who told her it was exclusive and networking gold. Monique arrived. At a massive estate in the Hollywood Hills, valet took her phone. She was escorted inside. There were candles, R&B music playing softly, and a rotation of male and female guests ushered into back rooms. I remember a woman in heels and a man in nothing but a bathrobe. I remember one of Diddy's assistants saying, "It is all about experience here. You are safe if you sign the NDA. That is when I walked out. She did not sign. She never went back." What followed were whispers. Monique said. Her phone stopped ringing for major roles. Invitations to film festivals dried up. She heard from a producer that she was being difficult, but she never forgot that night, and she always suspected her exit had made her a liability. The prosecution asked her if she believed this experience was standard practice at Diddy's events. She nodded. "I think it was orchestrated like a system, and when I refused to play along, I got cut out." Her testimony mirrored what Cassie Ventura and others had described. Candlelit rooms, camera setups, experiences involving hired escorts and luxury hotels disguised as networking havens. But what made Monique's account stand out was her vantage point as a respected actress, not a subordinate. She walked in on her own terms and walked out with her career slowly collapsing behind her. When the prosecution asked Monique whether she believed Tyler Perry had actively protected Diddy's image, she did not hesitate. "Yes," she said, "and I believe it was strategic, coordinated, and part of a larger effort to keep things quiet." She brought up a now famous moment that many saw on social media. Tyler Perry walking into Bishop T.D. Jakes' mega church and writing $1 million check right there in front of the entire congregation. People saw it as a blessing. Monique said, "But I saw a transaction." She continued, "That donation was not just charity. That church is a shield, and people like Diddy use it to create alliances that make them look untouchable." Courtroom murmurs started. Even the judge glanced up. Watching the jury scribble furiously, Monique testified that around the same time as Perry's church donation, several rumors about Diddy and his parties were quietly disappearing from gossip blogs. I knew then that people were being paid, influenced, silenced. That $1 million was not just for Jakes, it was for peace, it was for silence. The prosecution brought in photos showing that just weeks after that donation, Perry and Diddy appeared together at a BET event, arms around each other, smiles wide as if the world was not circling with accusations. It painted a picture that supported Monique's claim that the entertainment industry did not just protect Diddy, it elevated him. Then she paused and looked directly at the judge. "You see, I am not afraid of being blackballed anymore. I have been through it, and let me tell you something. Silence is the most expensive price any of us pay, and we have all paid it." At this point in her testimony, the courtroom grew. Still, Monique reached into her bag and pulled out a printed transcript. "This is the call," she said. "The one where Tyler Perry admitted he was wrong." Gasps, whispers. Monique had been saying for years that Tyler Perry privately apologized for the way she was treated after the previous fallout. But now she was saying it under oath with a transcript to back it up. "I recorded the conversation. He knew I told him. He said he was fine with it." She handed the papers to the bailiff, who delivered them to the judge. The judge scanned the top lines, then nodded for the prosecution to continue. In the transcript, Perry reportedly says, "I know I messed up. You were never difficult. You just did not want to work for free. I should have said that publicly." Then he pivots, allegedly telling Monique, "But I cannot go public puffs. Name is wrapped up in too much right now." Prosecutors used this moment to explain how Hollywood elites, even those with clean reputations, were afraid of the fallout. If Diddy's secrets unraveled. He told me, Monique added, that if Puff went down, a lot of people were going with him. People that fund movies, people that sign checks. This part of her testimony validated what former bodyguard Jean Deal and even Christian Keys had hinted at. That Diddy's web was not just about personal power, it was institutional. Monique's voice grew more emotional. "He had a chance to clear my name. He did not. Because he was protecting something bigger than me. Something darker than anyone." Wants to admit the judge ruled the transcript admissible. A huge win for the prosecution, and Diddy's attorneys looked visibly shaken. A friendly phone call had just become federal evidence. Then came a name that had not been mentioned in this trial, so far, but which instantly sent ripples through the room. Oprah Winfrey. Monique did not bring her up casually. She brought her up with a point. "In 2010, I told Oprah something personal, that I had been abused as a child by my brother. She said she would never exploit that. But she did. She put my brother on her show, and she did it right after I turned down the previous press tour. The courtroom did not know what to do with that. It was emotional heavy. But Monique was not done. She betrayed me. And when I asked why, she said it was business, but I knew the truth. They were trying to shut me up. She then pivoted, connecting Oprah, Perry, and Diddy through their shared use of NDA's PR crisis teams.